game found. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. You're in the right place.
I'm Mike Felicio. That's good to know.
Well, we need to tell Mike if he's in the right place or not. It's okay, Dad.
I need to be reminded.
You're okay.
I need to be reminded. Okay. I sit here.
It's time for lunch.
Do I look up here?
Is this? I'm touching the screen and nothing's happening. All right, folks, welcome to Crowdsurfing, a show about Kickstarter. And it's now, starting this week, will be a weekly basis, which means two things. One, we'll have fewer games that we talk about. Right. Two, maybe not. We'll just talk about games we might have skipped earlier. Remember,
nothing gets skipped now. Nothing gets skipped. Every project.
At the end of the day, I love games. In fact, I was just reading some threads yesterday about Tom loves every game.
Oh.
So this is you proving that that's not true?
No. I sound like I'm underwater. There's just something wrong with my microphone.
Could be an internet issue. I'm hearing you just fine.
I hear you just fine. I have to say, I feel maybe like this. It's a trap because I'm gonna be a little more mean than I typically am. I realize some people right now might be going, wait, more mean? How's that possible? Oh, it's possible.
Oh, it's definitely possible.
Like I said earlier in the episode, you're in the right place.
Hang on 1 second here.
We're hanging on.
We are. Z, you shamed me into watching all the videos this week, by the way, because in previous Crowdsurfings, you've been able to...
I don't know what the sound is here, folks. There's we all can hear each other fine, but apparently it's going through the internet poorly. Are you running it through the computer, or maybe it's running the computer sound? Oh, do you have it on that export thing that we had it on earlier? Got it. All right, folks.
Yeah.
No
now
worries.
The hatred can come crystal clear. Everyone needs to hear in high fidelity this hatred.
That's right. When I spill the hate, I enunciate, and I expect to be heard clearly.
Nice.
I
like that.
Well, anyhow, let's get started here. We're going to jump on the first one here. So let's start with a game from Indie Boards and Cards called Quest plus Avalon Deluxe.
Right.
So I was a little confused when I started going through this one. But is it true, and maybe I missed this memo, but is Avalon the Resistance Avalon, and now they just dropped the Resistance part?
Correct.
Yeah.
Why? It is literally the same game.
It's weird. I must have sold better than the original because it seems like they've buried the original, the Resistance.
Well, it's probably because of that stupid artwork.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Avalon had the same artwork.
You're right. Well, not anymore. Now they're using this gorgeous artist from Brazil.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Weberson Santiago might be my third favorite board game artist ever.
Because I've been very fortunate down here at the very bottom. They show this coup. We've had this coup for a long time. Someone gave this to me several years ago at a convention, and I was like, oh, this is great. I love this so much better than the coup I have.
Yeah, for sure. It's gorgeous art. Just really fantastic. It has that. Did he do the art for Bloody Inn? Because it definitely has that same vibe.
Yep.
Yeah, I love this art.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But yeah, this is basically an evolution on Avalon. That's what it is, which I actually, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, okay, this designer has come up with something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited about that, but it's just sort of, a spin and a twist on that. I guess years of discovering new things, play testing, and the game plays fewer people now. Right. So you can come down all the way to 4. It's still a social deduction game. There is no longer any voting, so it just changes.
Okay.
And then if you get it through this Kickstarter, they include Avalon, the extra stuff for Avalon, with this look, with this artwork.
Right. In the same box.
So let me ask
cool.
this here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused by how this is being marketed. I mean, there's several things, but at the top it says Quest plus Avalon Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
Then this picture here says Quest Avalon Big Box Edition. Is this the same thing? Because it says here, an all-new social deduction game by Don Eskridge for 4 or more players and a beautiful big box. Are they in the same box?
Yeah.
My guess is
it's
they're
just
in the same
confusing.
box. Yeah.
It is in the same box. They are together. They have a rule book that now encompasses both things. One rule book, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, it's beautiful and everything. It's just that if you, I feel like some people might buy this and go, wait, I already have this game.
Yeah, that's the issue I also have too, is that the price seems very reasonable for what you're getting. $34, something like that for both of those games. But I wonder how many people that are interested in this don't have a copy of Avalon already. You know what I mean? Now, if you prefer the art, it might still be worth it for you to have a version that has this type of art, because this is clearly an upgrade from the original Avalon.
Oh my
art.
word. As soon as I get a copy of this, I'm getting rid of the other ones.
Right. There's
the other
no
ones
point.
are so ugly compared to this. And I also like this theme a little bit more than that futuristic resistance theme works if it makes sense, but it's just kind of like future for future's sake.
Right. And to be fair, that other game is ugly, not just compared to this. It's ugly compared to everything in existence. So
really, you guys don't like that artwork?
In the Resistance? No,
Yeah.
Avalon, I don't like it.
No, I don't. It's that artist. They've done a lot of. I think it's the same guy that like Flashpoint Fire Rescue and everything.
Yeah. It's the guy who always draws people straight on.
Right.
Like he's really good at that. I don't know why.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
No one ever moves slightly to the right or left.
No, he cannot do profiles to save his life. But I like that artwork.
Do you have my best side here? Face forward, sir. Yeah.
No, I like the look of those. It's not this stylish, but I like the look of those.
That being said, I still think this is cool. I like the game. I've always liked it. My confusion was when I went in here, I was like, "Ooh, it's a new game." Oh, not really.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of how it feels. I also wish they would have gone with a different title. Quest, really? Quest?
No, it's Don Eskridge's Quest.
Whatever. He's not American McGee.
Should have been Meeple Quest, don't you think?
Oh, thanks. All right, let's go to the Fuzzies. I know this one exists because this one has been popping up on my Facebook advertisements for a week or so now.
Yeah.
Popping up, you say?
And sticking around.
Uh-huh.
Get it? Sticking.
Right. Yeah.
Look at that. How ridiculous is this?
So,
this to me looks like a game that was created in 10 minutes once somebody came across one of these things. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it almost seems like this actual component almost designs this game in itself.
Right. Like my question was, why do I need to back this? I know where I can buy these at Michael's, and I own a cup.
Right.
And I have thought this before when I've messed with these, because these are used in kids' crafts and things. I'm like, these things stick together. That's all well and good. And I would actually play this game. I wouldn't back it, though, because it looks like a mass market game. What threw me off, though, was as I went down and scrolled here, and I saw Polygon said one of the best party games we ever played, and then they were talking about Shut Up and Sit Down, and then I was like, oh, they're talking about Wavelength, which is the last thing these guys did, which was a groundbreaking, cool new party game that I'd never seen before. This is not Wavelength 2, although apparently $87,000 worth disagrees with me. I would buy this at Target.
Yeah.
What's the difference if you buy it at Target or get it through Kickstarter? It's the same thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't excite me, I guess. This is something that I wouldn't even go out of my way to buy this. This is something I would see in the store and be like, yeah, okay, I think the kids would like this.
Right.
But
Wavelength for, it wasn't for everybody, but one thing you could certainly say about it was that it was innovative and it didn't feel like every other party game. To me, this, again, it looks like I don't see where there was game development here. It was basically flip over a card that has a color, pick that color and put it somewhere else.
This looks so stupid to me.
Wolfgang Warsh has come up with some great designs. I just don't see what could he have contributed to this.
It's just that it bugs me a little bit because they quote us here best party game and stuff.
Yeah, right.
And they're talking about wavelength.
Right.
You can't sell this. This isn't wavelength.
Right.
And it's not monikers, and I don't know. That part bugs me a little bit. Again, I'm sure my kids would like it, but here they say for the Fuzzies, we spent almost a year prototyping the game to make sure the design rules and components are just right.
Really?
Really?
Huh.
You guys need to move a little faster then.
Right. A little bit of AP going on there, I think. Yeah.
But that being said, I would play it. All right.
Sure.
Pass. Hard pass.
Right to farm. Here's the pick of the week.
Oh, I forgot I have to make a pick of the week. Oh, it's going to be painful.
I wasn't aware that this was an actual right, and I taught history for a number of years. So I learned something new from this campaign.
Right. Here's the thing. I actually like when I first saw this, and I put on here because I saw this picture here with these cards. They look nice.
Yes.
Sure.
I thought those were nice drawings and everything. The different flowers. I'm okay with that. I like the theming of it, although I wouldn't advertise my game with 5 special fertilizer cards. But
now with more bleep.
I'm actually surprised this one isn't getting more backing. I mean, I don't think it's an amazing looking game.
Have you seen the cards? Yeah.
Okay, you're right. The video, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Also, their logo, the company logo, Wolf Beard Games, terrifying. It's some dude's big old beard.
Yeah.
With a hound.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's.
And it's like a pencil sketch from somebody's notebook. It's
right.
It ain't right.
Okay, but
no, this looks terrible, Tom. Come on.
No, the game doesn't look that bad.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, no, it looks awful. You're just putting your cards in a grid, and if you fill out a row, then you pick the cards up and they score. It's I don't see much of a game here.
There's more manure. Look at that. They just keep talking about it.
All right, let's skip the next one. Bibliology. All right, guys, this is mine to talk about.
Okay.
I have something I think I can contribute here, but go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, boo to this video because it's very well produced and all.
It is.
But it's done in that whole, if they were trying to hit the Christian video you see on the Turner Broadcasting Network to a T, like beautiful music in the background, and if you love Jesus, you'll buy this game, and if you hate Jesus, then you'll buy another game. At the end of the day, though, when you go through this is just Bible words written on cards.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, it's going to be a lot of cool games. Then why am I not buying those games instead? I'm a Christian, and I would like to see more Christian games. I would like to see original games, not just a bunch of words thrown on cards with not great artwork. And if your baby makes you laugh during the video, you can re-record it. That's what I'm saying.
There is that, yeah.
Yeah, I found it. I like the look actually. I don't dislike the artwork. I think the artwork, the iconography, sort of iconic look, I should say, clean look, is not bad. I watched the whole video. By the end of it, I'm like, so what's the game?
Right.
There is no game. These are cards you buy, and you can play games that exist with.
Right.
Also,
go ahead.
There's no. Part of what they're saying is this is a great tool.
Right.
This is both, you can play games, you can enjoy yourself, but also these are going to help you do things like learn the books in the Bible.
Sure.
And things like that. No! The cards have nothing but the name and an icon. So if it's like a book in the Bible, they don't tell you what book, like what number book it is, which would be useful. You know, it's this book out of this many. Right. They don't tell you how many chapters are in the book on the card. They don't give you a pronunciation guide on the card. It's not a tool to teach either.
No.
It just has the word. I mean...
When I first saw this, I thought it was Bible timeline. I thought, okay, well, that's an interesting idea. You have to try to put these in the right order. But you're right, it's not that.
No, right.
It's also not terribly cheap, right? Because the Old Testament is a set, and then the New Testament is a set, and for just cards, seems a little bit pricey.
$25 for 108 cards, no. And if you want the whole one, if you're the bibliology student, my problem with this is it feels like many of these pseudo-Christian projects. The whole video, the whole thing is kind of like, are you not buying this?
Right.
Or that you love Satan? that has that whole style, and I don't like that, especially when the end product's not good. There are people out there making games that have Christian themes or biblical themes to them. This is just slapping it on cards, and you're going to see this at every Christian bookstore when we're allowed to go back to them.
Yep. I agree with everything.
All right. On the very other side of things, we got Core Clash.
Yeah, I loved that video.
It's time to clash.
Well, I love the video, except it felt like I felt like they should have hired some people who, they didn't feel like they were playing a game. They felt like they were reading a line that someone else excitedly was like, now say, all right. But also, that video made me think that every single thing could be destroyed with one shot.
Correct. Yes.
They were like, here's a guy. He just ran across. Boom. Blew him up. Unlock a new weapon. It's like,
I will say this, though. I was more interested in the game after watching the video than I was looking at the campaign, because that right there, that picture that's on the screen to me looks like a jumbled mess. Just too busy, too much stuff going on. But
I love these dice.
When you watch the video, it actually comes across as a relatively simple tactical skirmish game where you're rolling dice to kind of, open up and trigger weapons and things. I don't know how much game is there. The minis look nice.
Though.
Yeah, the
minis
really
like
nice.
These minis. What this reminds me of is the Plaid Hat game that we were just talking about. The
Starship Samurai.
Starship Samurai. Yeah.
Yeah, this gives me that same kind of feel. I don't know. It looks like it might be. I'm hoping it's a fun game. How much does it cost? $115 is a lot, though.
There's a lot of plastic in there.
I love the one robot. My favorite robot has to be the one that is a giant mech, but also he has a bow and arrow. You go up again, like this guy right here. Yeah. It's like, so you have technology enough to make a mech, but the dude's got to resort to shooting an arrow from a bow?
Have you watched anime? Come on now.
No.
So you should have a giant mech and it's got a stone in his hand.
This guy drew the short straw. He doesn't get a cool weapon. He had to steal the steam shovel piece of someone else. But that being said, these look like when they're painted, they look unbelievable.
I'm sure.
To the point where I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't paint them at some point on here. Did they? I didn't see them paint it.
No. And yeah.
Oh, here's the pictures here.
Right.
Did they show them paint it farther down? They look like if you are a painter, you would love to paint these things.
Yeah.
I do think the dice are cool.
Oh, and I love these energy shields. Those are cool.
They are cool, but I got to think those are kind of, you clip them on and then you take them right off. And I do like this infinite dice tower as well. You could put on 75 sections if you want. You just keep going.
I might do that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the painted ones. I guess I didn't get down that far.
Yeah,
these look great.
Those are nice. Those look nice.
I really, what's the full backing thing here?
Do it, Tom.
Do it.
Oh, they have early birds? I'm telling you, people make Kickstarters. You put an early bird on, and that just frustrates me.
Sure.
It's $368 to get everything.
Do it.
That's a bargain and half the price, Tom.
All righty.
And if you go all in, they send you a pair of dice.
All righty.
Yeah.
No, let's go on.
Core Clash.
It's time for Crazy Cubes.
Oof.
All right.
I feel bad picking on this guy, but I'm still going to do it.
Right.
Listen, I actually think that I might have thought this was worthwhile. I don't mind the whole aspect of moving these things around and matching on the phone. I think it's a cool idea. It's just the fact that he said he's going to 3D print it. That's my problem.
He also says, I played a game back in the 90s. I can't remember what it was exactly, and I can't find it. So I'm selling it on Kickstarter. I'm like, wait, what?
My own. Yeah.
I understand if you want to have a thing from the 90s and you can't find it, so you 3D print one for yourself. But then you jump on Kickstarter and you're selling them now. And also, if you're making a video for Kickstarter, it's going to take a few minutes to do your shots. Take your earbuds, out of your ears.
Yeah, it might not
For
be a
the
bad
2
idea.
minutes you need to be on screen. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Okay.
Either that or he was using them as his microphone, which is also a very valid possibility judging by the quality of the video.
Okay, well, I'm not here to mock.
Well, I'm not done. Let me continue to mock.
No, look, I actually don't think the game is an awful game to move things around to get. I mean, there's a lot of games like this.
Sure.
I like the idea of it. I just don't want to back something and he 3D print it.
Why?
Right.
You do it on Etsy.
No, but that's me 3D printing something. I'm not printing the whole game. I'm printing extra pieces. This is a game that I could see this being sold at a store with wooden blocks. It looks like a wooden block style
It does.
game.
You know what you should do then, Tom? Look for a manufacturer, make these out of wood, and then kickstart that.
Right.
Bury this guy. Now
Alrighty.
in wood.
Alrighty. Folks, there's some good Kickstarters coming, I promise. But we're going to take a break real quick here, and we'll be back right after this.
This week's Spotlight is brought to you by Colossal Games. Western Legends is an open-world sandbox tabletop adventure set in the American Wild West. Players assume the roles of historical figures of the era, earning their legendary status in a variety of ways. Gamble, drive cattle, prospect for gold, rob the bank, fight bandits, pursue stories, and become an outlaw, or just keep the peace. The possibilities are darn near endless. The original Western Legend is now 2 years old. The first expansion was Ante Up, and now, with its third and final installment, we have Blood Money. Being a Western Legend is not for the faint of heart. You have faced countless dangers in the Wild West, and have overcome challenges from your rivals to become a true legend. It is time for one last ride, full of dangerous risks and alluring rewards. There will be blood, that much is certain. But in the Old West, that means fame and money, blood money. Risk it all and write the final chapter in your Western legend. Check out the campaign, which is now on Kickstarter.
All right. Well, here we go. Now we're talking about dice because we always talk about dice. But these are Andice or I don't know how you pronounce it.
Andice.
Here's the thing. This is I always have the same problem. I love how these look. I would never buy and or use them.
No, they're not very functional.
Well, this set here is a little functional, this Jomon set.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next set, I haven't a clue how you're supposed to know which one is the 2, 3, 4, and 6. I get the 5 because it's a 5-pointed star.
Well, the 2, man. The 2 has 2 lines. The 3 has
Wait,
some
the 2 doesn't have 2 lines. The 2 has 1 line.
No, there's 2 lines in the middle.
Then what's the 3?
Wait, which one are we looking at? Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about this Nara set. I don't know how
you're counting the areas that the lines divide the dice into.
Ugh. Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, no. Okay. And then this one here.
I'm getting it. I'm putting it in your stocking.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I rolled these, I would always stop and go. And here's what I would do to even be worse. I'll bring one of each to a game session, and you have to roll 2d6.
Right. The other issue I had, besides the usability here, is that it looks like it's being presented as something that celebrates the history and culture, but I don't know how. How are we learning about the Japanese history and culture behind these different dynasties?
Well, it says there are different logos of the famous families, but you're right.
Yeah, no, come on, no.
Well, it is. I think it's funding, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's not funding a lot. I like
Kickstarter.
It's gonna. I like how these look a lot. I just don't think they're functional. That's all.
No.
Right.
All right, biggest Kickstarter of the day: Massive Darkness 2, Hellscape. Now, did you guys, when you watched this trailer, did you think they must have watched a Mythic trailer or two? Because they totally stole that whole animated turns into the miniature thing. That came way back. What was that? They did that for Reichbusters, I remember.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Reichbusters, they had the animate turn into the miniatures. Same thing here. You know, they made it look really cool. That's a cool trailer.
It was a well done trailer.
Come on, did not fool around with that trailer. So this is the sequel to Massive Darkness, although I'm still not sure if it's a sequel or if it's just a 1.5.
I don't think I mean, it looks like a different game. They changed some of the systems.
Well, they have some backwards compatibility to it, though.
Well, you can buy something that converts your Season 1 or whatever they're calling it, your Massive Darkness characters into this system.
I'll tell you what, I like the model of going from Rum and Bones to Rum and Bones Second Tide. I like that model of that naming structure more than, Darkest Whatever Place 2. I like calling something Second Edition, Second Sinking, Second Arrival, whatever you want, more than calling it straight up Part 2.
Too fast, too massive.
Even more dark.
Too dark, too crazy. Yeah.
Okay, I have not yet ever seen a Kickstarter, though, that has a stretch goal based on days. So it's almost like a Christmas thing, like every day they're showing off a new miniature. I thought that was pretty cool.
Come On has been doing that, haven't they? They did that with their comics.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh, I didn't follow that Kickstarter, so I didn't notice. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. That way, no matter what happens, there's something new coming out.
Right.
I hope this is good, but this is going to definitely be a wait and see for me.
Yeah, I was not a particularly big fan of the first version of this, so I'm not interested. I'm not feeling it, I guess.
No.
The theme's not doing it for me. It just seems like this one has that feeling of, hey, this is another Kickstarter.
Another Come On dungeon crawl Kickstarter. It's like, how does this really differentiate itself from Zombicide or, the countless others that they've come out with? It just doesn't feel different to me at all.
Well, I do like Game Genix involved. I hope that it's good. I just haven't heard a lot of very positive things about the first one. My only other concern then is that I'm not a big fan of this theming, this Hellfire, although it doesn't look, it kind of does, a lot of it does look cool. It's not, because it's Come On, they somehow make gross miniatures that aren't as gross as other stuff. I don't know how to explain it.
They usually can get right on the edge. Yeah.
They're cartoony, yeah. Hey, it's making more than $2 million. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So somebody's liking it. I'm just not.
Right.
I'm not into the theme or the look of this. I'm not vibing with it. Yeah.
No.
I do like. Well, I like the dice. I'm hoping it's good. So that's the thing. I hope it's a great game. Give it a roll when it comes out, and we'll see. Although there's still like 8 Kickstarters out, so this is gonna be a long time before we see this one. This one says September 2021. Does anyone believe that?
At this point, it's hard to.
So, I mean, if it is September 2021, that means there's a lot of Come On projects going to be released in the next 6 months, 8 months. Alrighty, jumping to Western Legends Blood Money. And I got to say, we've been making fun of a lot of stuff today, but whoever they got to do the voiceover work for this one, I thought did a great job for the trailer.
Yeah, it was good.
It sounded like he jumped out of the Old West and did it. I was trying to figure out if I knew who it was.
It had that Sam Elliott vibe to it.
Well, it was not easy, but they paid well, so I jumped in and did it. You know what I mean?
That was a good job there, Z. I was mighty impressed.
They're claiming this is the final expansion. I have a hard time believing that when any company says it, but hey, maybe they're right. And they certainly are putting a lot in this. I like that. This guy looks like it's a fun mechanism that gets added. There's a lot of new cool cards. Western Legends is one of those games where normally I feel like I'm happy with where a game's at, and I don't necessarily need more stuff added. But Western Legends is so easy to plug stuff into it. Yeah, more characters, fine. More stories. I need to see a little bit more about how that story mode's going to work or whatever, that legendary story card overlay.
Yeah.
But I hope it works because that sounds cool.
Yeah, this looks neat. I mean, obviously, this is for people who already know they like Western Legends. I assume it is. So, and this does not look like it takes a weird left turn or anything. It's more of what people like. So it's well done.
The one negative thing is you do need their last expansion for it to work. That's a tough thing,
Sure.
To say you need the game and the expansion. That means automatically you're only getting the diehard fans. Although, again, $250,000 worth. So,
yeah.
Right.
All right, then we have Lizard Wizard. This is the Magic Age in the Land of Astoria. This is from Glenn Drover, Forbidden Games. And it looks at first like it is a magical version of Raccoon Tycoon.
Yeah,
and the more I looked at it, that's definitely what it is.
Sure.
I love Raccoon Tycoon. I am a little annoyed here where it says at the very beginning, it said somewhere up here, like the new classic. You really irritate me when you say that. Nothing's a classic because you determine it is. We, the fans and the reviewers and stuff, will tell you what classics are years afterwards, not before the game comes out.
Right.
But this board sure looks like Raccoon Tycoon, doesn't it?
Yeah, and when you watch the video, what they describe is basically very much like Raccoon Tycoon, which
there's like a dungeon now, right?
Sure.
And you are. It looked like there's a little bit less auctioning in this one. I love Raccoon Tycoon, so I'm okay playing another similar game.
Right.
I like this art. I don't know. I'm interested in this. I just almost wish they had pushed it a little bit more away from Raccoon Tycoon, but maybe it's not.
That's my biggest concern. I think the art is fantastic. Like, I really, really like this art. And I liked Raccoon Tycoon much more than I expected to. I really went into it not expecting much, and I liked it. So, yeah, very intrigued by this.
Z, you're not a big fan of Raccoon Tycoon, right?
No, and I'm confused as to why this is what it is. I mean, it's so soon after Raccoon Tycoon. It's a new theme. It's a couple of twists. Why would this not be a standalone / compatible game? Is it? I mean, can you combine this with Raccoon Tycoon?
I doubt it.
I don't think so. But
so that just seems like a weird move. The people who liked Raccoon Tycoon have it, unless they're like huge lizard fanatics. You know what I mean? I mean, so why would you not make it so that, hey, look, if you own the original, you can combine this with it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can also just play this on its own. That's the pitch, seems to me.
Well,
not, here's another unrelated game, but it's basically the same game, so...
I will say offline, talking to people who haven't played it, who have played it, different people, I've only heard good things. So I'm pretty jazzed about this one. I'm looking forward to playing it.
All right. Cool.
Then we move to Roll for Lasers, a museum security roll and write game. Stop. Let me get out. Okay. There's a lot of roll and write games out there. This one I put on the list. It's funding. I didn't hate how this looked. I know you guys are going to hate on it. I would actually play this if you pulled it out. It looks interesting. I like the laser roll and write. There's a lot of number stuff. Lasers are fine. All right, go ahead and hate on it.
I have thoughts on this, but I'm going to go out and stand in the middle of traffic before I start to give you my thoughts. Did you see the video for this?
I saw.
Yeah, I saw it. So. Why?
The woman is standing in front of a public building that I guess is supposed to be a library. I don't know if it is or it isn't.
Or a museum.
I
guess.
Or a museum, yeah. But there's like traffic in the background. You could barely hear what she's saying over the traffic. So I don't know. This just to me does not look like anything that would make me comfortable giving them my money.
Because they stood in traffic?
No, it looks like it's done in Microsoft Paint.
No. I don't disagree on that. I'm just saying I like the concept a lot.
It's basically that laser game. It's the what is that game called? The
Ket.
Yeah, it looks like Ket, basically roll and write Ket, where you're drawing where the mirrors would be, and
yeah,
I don't know.
We made a roll and write thing everywhere, so who cares? I also like the artwork of the people for the cover.
Yeah,
I'm not hating on it. I'm not backing it, but I'm not hating on it. It's clearly two people's passion project. Maybe not
And
a
that's
passion
true.
project. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's like,
I got to be careful
literally,
about that.
literally 2 people made this, hired somebody to do hard work, and they threw it up on here. Their funding goal was $250. Okay.
There you
go. Which seems weird. Also, if you need $250, you can get $250.
Yeah, they just want people to buy it. 135 people are going to be happy.
That's good. Hey, look, I'll be the jerk on this one. To me, it doesn't look very good, but you guys roll your lasers and have fun doing it. It's just not, doesn't look very promising.
You know what? I'd rather roll my lasers and roll my eyes like you do at everything.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
That's good.
We got another break here with some contributors, folks. We'll be back in a bit to talk about a few more projects.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's seeking crowdfunding right now. Maybe you have a fear of missing out on it, maybe you do too, and we're going to go ahead and take a look together. Now today, I'm going to be taking a look at Northgard Uncharted Lands. Now when I got this game, I was told that it is based on a video game that I myself have never played. So the first thing I needed to do was play the video game.
2 weeks later.
I am Renvig of the Goat Clan. Wait. Sorry. Back to the. Actually, let's just talk about this game a little. In Northgard Uncharted Lands, players will want to have either the most fame at the end of the 7th round, or be the one to control 3 closed territories that contain large buildings. To do this, a player needs to build their deck that will allow them to command their units on the board. On a turn, a player will either play a card to use its abilities. These actions include recruiting units, building new buildings, moving groups of units, exploring, drawing additional cards, or even a host of other abilities. Now, I'm not going to cover these in detail, but check out the rules video on their Kickstarter page for more information. As you build buildings and control territories, eventually another clan's going to want to take it from you. When a clan moves into a territory already controlled, combat will take place with the victor taking control and the loser fleeing to safer lands. Once all players have passed during a round, the game moves into the harvest, where players will collect resources from their lands and their buildings, and then the winter phase, where they must pay food to keep their units fed during those cold months. Now, fame is the measure by which your victory is gained. Fame is earned by controlling and closing territories through buildings, resources, and some of the cards. The game will end after 7 rounds, in which case the player with the most fame will be the winner. However, if at any point at the end of a turn a player controls 3 closed territories that contain a large-sized building, then they're going to be the winner. If more than one player controls this at that time, then fame will be the determining factor for breaking the tie. All right, so that is an overview of Northgard Uncharted Lands. Again, a very brief overview because I'm limited for time, and there's a great rules video, and there's always been a Dice Tower preview for this. So it's better that I talk about what is this game? Why does it exist? Does it have any reason to exist? How does it compare to the video game? You know, lots of questions everyone's asking. So in this case, this game does compare pretty well to the video game. If you're already familiar with the video game, this is a familiar system, a familiar game. But for me, what really shines, and I'm just going to skip to that portion, is in the mechanisms of this. There's nothing groundbreaking in this game. You've got deck building. Most of us know how deck builders work. You've got a almost Carcassonne-like exploration of the tiles and the way the tiles are placed out with the control. You've got a dudes on a map game. You've got a light combat. But what works really well is all of these components coming together under this theme of Northgard. Because after I played this game the first time, I looked at everyone and I thought to myself, this felt like Carcassonne++. This felt like a game that if I had a friend who Carcassonne is the only game that I've got them to play, and they like video games, I think I could get them to play this. And it might open them up to other things. Maybe they really latch on to the deck building in the game. Maybe they latch on to the combat. And then I can use it to introduce them to other games. But I'd be perfectly happy to play this game with them over and over as well. Because as a more advanced gamer, I really did enjoy Northgard. I enjoyed the way it was simple, but I made these decisions as I played the game, and I really couldn't let off the gas. In the first game I played, I knew that because of where the resources were, I needed to go combat heavy. And at some point, I took pity on my opponents, and I backed off, and next thing I know, I lost that game pretty bad when I should have won. So overall, I really, really like this. If you're a fan of the video game and want something on your table, this is a great game. If you're looking for a game that you maybe can introduce to your friends who need that next step from a Carcassonne type thing, this is a great game for that. But if you're just looking for a fun game that replicates kind of an RTS feel in a board game that isn't super rules heavy and full of charts and things like that, this is also a great game. I love the artwork, I love the miniatures, I love the modules, I love the replayability because you're not always using the same cards. So overall, this is going to get high marks from me. I really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to getting a final copy when it ships eventually. And if you like it, go check out their Kickstarter page, and I look forward to seeing you folks next episode.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be visiting the forest. We're going to be going back to the Old West. We're going to be hunting down a sniper. We're also going to be traveling the galaxy, bleeding out resources from different stars. And finally, we're going to be on the search for some scientists to help us save the planet. All right, let's jump in and get to it. So let's kick things off with Deluxe. In Deluxe, you will take charge of a federation of orphaned alien species that have escaped a dying star system in the wake of a galactic apocalypse. The universe is winding down, entropy is increasing to maximum. You will need to manage your precious resources through trade, conflict, and exploration that will sustain biological life and power your Ark of Salvation, hydrogen converters, and biosphere engine, all while building a star colony that can outlast the end of the universe and give it new light. So your goal here is to gain 7 or more of each of your resources: life forms, plants, water, artifacts, and hydrogen. So you can establish a colony and then be the first to complete all 3 of your faction card objectives. The thing that strikes me about this game right away is that how much game there is in this tiny box. Really a lot of game here. Collecting resources, and you have to give up some resources to gain others. All in an effort to gain your colony out in the universe, as well as complete your tasks to win the game. But I really like the resource management in this game, and how when you bleed enough resources off a star, then it turns to red giant, and finally the star will collapse, maybe turning into a black hole. And next up we have Wildlife, the card game. Forest life is wild. You must take care of the habitat of your animals, add species, enhance them, and protect them from hunters. But be careful, there are also predators lurking and natural disasters. Throughout several cycles or rounds of play, you must collect points and prevent others from doing so. Wildlife is a quick-playing competitive game. The goal is to make card sets of different animals that generate points at the end of each cycle or round. The game is designed to be simple, fun, with high interaction between players and environmental awareness. Not only are you creating sets, but you can also mess with other players. And this is where it gets interesting. By playing a predator, a hunter, or catastrophe card, you can disrupt the forest and waterways. So this is a very quick playing little card game where you're creating sets, different type of species of creatures out in the forest. And really though, there's a lot of take that in this game. You have catastrophe cards that can affect everyone at the table. You have hunters and you have predators that can stalk other players' life sets. So there's a lot of back and forth in this game. And like I said, a fair amount of take that. And Western Legends is back with Blood Money. Blood Money. Being a Western legend is not for the faint of heart. You have faced countless dangers in the Wild West and have overcome challenges from your rivals to become a true legend. It is time for one last ride, full of dangerous risks and alluring rewards. There will be blood, that much is certain. But in the Old West, that means fame and money, blood money. Risk it all and write the final chapter in your Western legend. Now, I'm a fan of Western Legends for sure. I like sandbox style games, and this adds a lot to the game. Oh my gosh, there's new characters, there's new story modes. There's also traveling merchant that I found really fun, that he moves between different locations and trying to track him down with new and unique items and things like that. So there's a lot of neat things in this game, in this expansion, I should say, that add a lot to Western Legends. And next, we have Sniper Elite. So Sniper Elite is a stealth action game. One player is the sniper, secretly moving from space to space and attempting to complete 2 objectives before the time runs out. Up to 3 defender players are trying to either wound the sniper twice, killing them, or defend the objectives until the sniper runs out of time. Sniper Elite does feature a bag manipulation element. The sniper draws chits from a bag to target the defenders, though a canny defense can decrease the sniper's likelihood of making their shot. You and your fellow players have to track down the sniper, and it is one of those hidden movement games. However, I like the bit that the sniper actually has a dry erase board for using to track their movements as they move around the board and try to complete their objectives before they're found by the other players at the table. And it is an interesting twist that in this one, the sniper might actually be the good guy. And finally, we have Climate Crisis. The year is 2020. The almost 8 billion people on the planet face a threat of their own making as climate change seeks to wreak havoc across the globe. A multifunctioning team from across the world is tasked with trying to solve our climate crisis. Players must work collaboratively to save the world from climate change. There's a tricky balance here between moving to renewable energy, recycling, population, staying alive, and keeping enough energy to keep going. The goal is to maximize world population, stay alive, and achieve environmental sustainability. So this is a cooperative game, and you do have to work together in order to save the planet, managing all the different resources and energy and dealing with CO2 and all that. But also, the thing that you're really after is that you're searching the globe for scientists. You're trying to bring them all together in a unified manner in order to save the planet. All right, so my pick of the week. I'm going with Blood Money. Yes, it's just an expansion, but I really like sandbox style games, like I said, and Western Legends is one of my favorites in this genre of type of game. And the fact that it adds so much new stuff to the game is really intriguing. I really like the story bits. That's going to add a lot to the game. And of course, there's all kinds of new characters, but there's new gameplay here, really something to check out. All right, folks, if you want any more information about any of the games that I've mentioned here, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
That's why I don't like Dan that much. All right. Hey, we're back, everybody.
Get in line.
all
Get
right.
in line.
So,
Hey.
we're talking about Kickstarters. We've went through the big ones. Now let's go through the rest. Well, actually, there's still one more big one coming. But first, we have Power Slam Wrestling Card Game.
Power Slam!
Which, okay, so I want to talk real briefly about this wrestling card game commercial they have here.
Uh-huh.
I have to say to the people who made this that because of this commercial, I wouldn't back the game.
Yeah.
Because it shows some people, if you watch it, they're sitting at a table. Some people come up and go, hey, would you like to play a new game? And they're like, no, enough games exist. Get out, jerks. So these people, and they're like, do you want to play Power Slam? Sure. And they play it. What were you trying to say with that? Like, you don't want to talk to people and play games with them? It was a really weird intro.
Yeah.
It does seem strange that they're going, no, enough games exist. Let's play this game that doesn't exist. It's like, wait, if you were trying to like sell me on chess, then that video makes sense, right? That like, you want to learn something new? No, I don't want to learn something new. There's so many good games. Let's play a classic. This isn't a classic. This is a new game.
Yeah, but see, the way I thought that commercial was going to go was these guys go, do you want to play a game? No, we got enough games. But wait, we have Power Slam. Oh, okay. But no, they kicked them out. And then at the end of the video, another guy comes up and goes, that looks fun. They're like, get out, jerk. Like, are you trying to sell your game?
The thing is, they're comedians, right? The people that made this were comedians, and so obviously they're trying to be funny. But the issue that I have is that it plays into some of these negative stereotypes that are out there about gamers as being, not very welcoming sometimes. I don't know why you would necessarily use that as your entry point to your game that you're trying to sell. So
I
It's
don't
about
hate the
power
art
slamming.
on this, although this guy who has in a headlock and his eyes are popping out of his head and his face turning purple. Not sure that's. I don't know. This
I'm
looks
really
okay.
confused as to why Ursula is part of this game.
That's a good point.
They
Under
really
the sea.
in the videos they really push this whole pin to win thing.
Right,
Which,
right.
as far as I could tell, there's a bunch of cards and you're trying to get 3 checks.
Yes.
But they're like, you got to bid to win. If
Right.
there's one thing, as someone who's watched wrestling in the past, and I know it's all a show and everything, but my word, that whole 3 count thing is the worst rule in anything. It's so uneven. They'll call a 3. Oh, no, the guy had part of his shoulder off the ground, maybe.
Yeah.
Someone comes and kicks the referee so it doesn't count.
Right.
No, that will happen. Like, someone will, like, pull the referee. He'll turn around. Then there will be some cheating. And the referee turns and goes, oh, some cheating just occurred. But because I didn't see what happened in the match, well, that's just life. We just got to keep going.
Right.
Yeah,
you can't do the eye gouge if the ref is looking at you. You got to wait till he's distracted by some type of goose or something that's been brought into the ring.
I don't know. There's just some really weird stuff here.
This is just not something I think that
I think these are not
this is
people
appealing
in the board game arena.
Right. I think it's appealing to people that are not necessarily board gaming fans generally.
Alrighty. Well, the next one, this one's doing, it hasn't funded yet. It's like so close. I was kind of hoping it would fund on our show because we've never had that happen.
It's going to fund right now. Leave it on
right.
the screen and it'll fund.
So, Boss Battle. There's another one where it's like, Boss Battle!
There's been a lot of those this week, yeah. It was like the same person did the voiceover. Boss Battle!
I have to say, I don't know where I fall and how much I like this art, but I'm going to give this art points for looking different than most other art.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, I'm going to go down and I like it. I like it.
I think
like
it's
the
good art. Yeah,
but
it's good.
I'm saying that it's very distinctive. It doesn't look like your typical fantasy art.
Right.
I don't like the graphic design of these boards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure I like the graphic design of the cards, but I do like the art.
I agree with that. I like the art. I don't like the card frames. I think are not good.
I also don't like the name. It just sounds so generic.
I agree.
Battle.
You shouldn't be battling your boss.
Yeah. That's a good point. I would never do such a thing. I just want to be on record there. I would never battle my boss.
Nah, that's a cool cover though, don't you think?
Yeah. No, I think the art is fine.
I'm surprised this one hasn't funded, actually. I mean, it's obviously going to fund now. If they can't get $365 in 7 days, then yeah, that's a sign.
I'm just surprised this doesn't exist already. That's where
That's another issue. Yeah, it does.
I'm sorry. I look at this and I go, haven't we covered this?
Mm-hmm.
Or haven't I seen this game somewhere? It's draining. Looking at this is literally sapping my energy.
All right,
more of this.
I think it looks interesting. All right, this one though is not the same. This one, Immune, which, by the way, if you start this video up, it like gets you pumped into some sort of musical trance before the guy shows up, standing in front of a shelf of quite gamery games. So that's kind of a good sign, right? But he's a biologist, he said, and then I actually kind of lost track of what he was saying next. And unfortunately, I am having a hard time figuring out what the game is about. I mean, I know what it's about, but I don't know how the game works.
Yeah, I was having some issues with that as well. Now, there are videos that, if you wanted to spend, a couple hours to watch playthroughs and such, I'm sure you'd get a very good idea. He does describe it somewhat here. It's interesting because at first when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is pretty rough timing for, a game about the body's immune system fighting a virus. But he does address it. The designer does address it in the video, and they actually talk about it in the in the description. So I don't think it's being done in an exploitative way at all.
I agree. He said he has this idea for years,
right?
And it doesn't feel that way at all.
No, it doesn't feel like he's trying to take advantage of the current situation. So I just wanted to say that because I had that concern when I first saw the campaign.
Here's my thing. I'm really on board with this. It sounds interesting. It sounds like it's a pretty good game. I like the different things he talks about it, but I plead with you to scrap this whole design of the graphic design and get a new one. Please. It looks really bad.
Mm.
I agree. This is not. This seems like the kind of game you maybe shop around. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
This feels like the prototype he's showing people.
Right.
Yeah. No, this you don't kickstart this. You sell this, and I mean, there's a company that specifically puts out this kind of game. They exist.
Right.
They are out there. Show them this.
Yeah. That being said, I don't hate the cover though.
No, I don't hate it either. And again, I like his drawings of biology and stuff. I think that's kind of cool. But this feels unique, right? You just said, you see things that are the same. This feels unique. I just am, and I think it might be a really good game. I'm just concerned that it looks so bad. It doesn't say it's final, so maybe the final thing will look better.
Maybe, yeah. I've always wanted some type of I've always liked the idea of this. What was that movie called? The Fantastic Voyage or Fantastic Journey, where you shrink down and go inside the body to kill. I've always loved the idea. This isn't exactly doing that, but I think that's a design space that hasn't been really explored enough yet. So I'm interested in the idea of it.
All righty, Cats and Coffee Company. This one's not funding.
Yeah,
I put this on here because people always say, I hate cats. So I'm going to show you every cat Kickstarter to prove that I don't hate cats. I still do.
Yeah, I've also heard that if you put cats in any game, you'll make it successful. And I think that this probably disproves that as well.
I don't hate this cat artwork, though. Even though it's a little creepy. They're all staring at you.
It's awful.
This is sad. I can't even pick on this.
Yeah,
this is just like... It's a roll and write that looks really terrible. It's got clip art artwork. I'm sorry. No, I can't even pick on this. That's just too like that's not a low-hanging fruit. That fruit is on the floor. It's been rotting for a while. You just don't touch it anymore.
All right, let's jump to a game I initially was negative about when I saw it.
Wait, I'm not done talking about the Cats and Coffee.
The Quest Kids Matching Adventure. So this is Memory Match, as the guy says, with a twist. And actually, the twist is
that they have their own theme song.
There's
that theme song is straight sound like fire. I played that theme song for Roy the other day, and let me tell you, it was fire.
That's the best part.
That theme song sounds like when someone Robot Chicken or something when they make fun of a kid's theme song.
Yes.
That's what it sounded like. But being the guy's very deathly serious, but so the memory match and you turn over 2 tiles and then you're like collecting heroes to then go out into dungeons and fight monsters. Look, I know it's memory match and stuff, but I think it's really well done. It looks like a good one for younger kids. I would get this for kids. Not to mention this guy sure knows how to make his backgrounds look cool with toys.
Yeah, it looks like a quality product. The campaign looks like it's being very professionally put together. The guy obviously has his stuff together. The video for all of the joking about the theme song. I mean, it's a professionally looking. It looks very well done. I said earlier that I didn't really have a lot of faith in giving my money to that other one because it didn't necessarily. This one does. Although it's not a game for me. I feel like this is a product that's going to be well done, well produced, and so if you're into a memory match game or if you've got kids,
this is for kids. It's not even they're not even pretending otherwise, and that's
for
fine.
Little kids, very little kids. Yeah, it's fine. It's well done, like you said. This looks way more finalized.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of finalized, our last Kickstarter of the day, Slime Time.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hey, it funded.
Yeah, it did. It funded.
Meet the slimes. Fire slime, brain slime, gold slime, battle slime, vine slime, basic slime.
I'll tell you one thing. Watching this one earlier today, watching the video, did inspire me.
Yeah.
Or at least momentarily, my threatened inspiration of doing fake Kickstarter videos and putting them in Board Game Breakfast.
That would be fantastic.
Like just a little fake a video for a fake game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I can use all of these, silly things we keep seeing, like ridiculous voice man,
Uh-huh.
And like this one, the one thing that just got me is they said, like they showed up a title card that had like 2 words, and you're like, ooh, like okay. The next one had a little more text. Eventually, it was like a paragraph. They're like, bam! I'm like, what? Wait.
It was the Star Wars crawl.
Now, I'm like, come on, no, that's no longer like bam. Now it's like PowerPoint presentation.
It was. It totally was.
This basic slime is straight out of Slay the Spire.
Mm.
That guy showed up from there.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I know about Slime Time is that you got a pin to win.
No, it's you're mixing
is
your stuff
that
now.
a different game? Okay. This apparently
but I
this
love this.
person
You
has
can
got
have
a number of them.
You can mix the stuff. So you can have slimes and cowboys. Slimes, cryptids, colors. Slime, colors, cowboys. Slimes, cryptids, colors, cowboys. And slimes and monsters. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We're not done. Slimes, color monsters. Slimes, cryptid monsters. Slimes, monsters, cowboys, which is a movie coming out near you. Slimes, cryptids, colors, and monsters.
This guy's done a lot of games.
All.
They've done a lot of games, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And again, he funded. He's doing it through Game Crafter. So it is what it is. I put this on because the name amused me. The Slime Time.
Yeah.
And he really went all in on that font.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, he was committed to the font. There's no 2 ways about it.
All right. So folks, now that we're doing this weekly, we do things that end in the next 8 days or so. We are no longer requiring a pick of the week, but does anyone have one?
I was able to come up with one.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
I know that Z was mercilessly bashing it, but I will not be dissuaded, sir. I like Lizard Wizard quite a bit. I'm very excited about that. If there's one thing that I would, you gave a little plea to publishers before. If there's one plea I would give to publishers coming from somebody that represents the solo community pretty often, don't make the solo mode a stretch goal. It's not a good look. Because although I'm excited about the game, I'm skeptical about how well the solo is going to work because it wasn't something that was there day one. And if it's been already developed, if it's been already designed, put that there day one so that I don't feel like it's being thrown in at the end. So I'm excited about the game, but I'm very cautious.
I don't care if you do that, publishers. You can leave it out. It's fine.
If it's no good, I'd rather you do leave it out. If it's good, put it there from the beginning.
This is actually also my pick of the week. All right. I really, really like Raccoon Tycoon. I wasn't expecting to like it when I sat down and played it for the first time. It blew me away with how much fun it was. If they're going to add in a cooler theme, Raccoon Tycoon's kind of a boring theme, a cooler theme with a somewhat unique fantasy world here to some degree, and then just also the buzz I'm hearing about it. I'm excited about this one. That's my pick of the week, too.
You're finding this to be a more exciting theme than the original, you're saying?
Raccoon Tycoon, that's okay, but I mean, this is not generic fantasy. It's animal necromancer type fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the art for both. I do prefer this slightly, but I liked the art for both.
All right, well, my pick, if I have to pick one, it's going to be Quest. Quest plus Avalon Deluxe. It's a little confusing of a Kickstarter. That's true. They're running in a bit of a messy way, but I'm liking the look. Like I said, I very much enjoy Weberson Santiago artwork. I like the idea of it being this designer's evolution of his own game that's been out for years, and there's been, I'm sure, tons of games of it. New ideas, new developments. You get the Avalon packed in there also, I guess. And I do have an issue with it being called Quest. It just seems extremely generic. But the game doesn't look generic, and I'm hoping it's a good social deduction game. When you'll be able to play that again, who knows? But cool game, cool look. I'm into this. I would play this.
One of the things I would like to do, folks, on this show is I'd like to talk about Kickstarters that have just been released, although that's tricky for me to know. You know, I can know when they show up here. Like we just had, just came in the mail yesterday. You stole it, Z. What was it?
Oh, Tidal Blades.
Tidal Blades. Right. So if you're a company and you have a Kickstarter that's releasing and you let us know that information, we'll talk about those. And maybe sometime we come back and say, well, we've seen these Kickstarters now and they look better in person or worse or what have you. We're probably never going to talk about Slime Time again, but you never know. Alrighty, well, that's it from us. We'll see you all later. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
I'm Mike DeLucio. Take care, everybody.
Have fun gaming.
Yeah.